guys. We have the joy of welcoming Sheila Ford this morning. We've seen Sheila before, as you know, but this wonderful lady just retired. Well, how about not just recently retired after 25 years of a psych professor and counselor in California, and then another 7 years of California Unity Spiritual. Oh, hey, there's some of it right there. Okay. Um, Several degrees, as you might imagine, has to be a PhD. Let's see. No, not necessarily. Sheila, are you a PhD?
I have some work toward a PhD, but I was a dropout.
Didn't finish. Okay, well, so all right. Very often, psychology people are PhDs.
Yeah.
But now she's in Ajajik. Am I close? Ahihik.
Ah,
H's instead of J's. Yeah. Degrees are from UC Davis, and then studying towards her PhD. I could have read forward. Okay, let's welcome Sheila, you guys. I'm excited to hear what she has for us.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction and for that beautiful prayer. I loved when you said new understanding. I love deeper understanding. I just think that's what it's all about. And today, I would like to invite you into a deeper understanding about what I mean by optimistic expectations. So, I have a couple of questions for you to start out with, and that is, are you enjoying the enriching and rewarding lifestyle that you pray for? Now, be honest with yourself. Could it be some days more than others? Some days it's harder than others, more challenging than others. And other days, yeah, right on. And then the next question, are you relishing the quality of life that you ultimately yearn to experience? Some days, if I were to be honest, I would say there's got to be more than this. And there's challenging stuff happening, and I don't like it. And other days, yeah, I do have a great quality of life. And I also wonder, are you embracing the vibrant way that you long to feel? Some days I don't feel so hot. Other days I feel really great. So I wanted to tell you the truth is, are you waiting for the truth? This will change your life. You do not receive in life what you want. You do not receive in life what you necessarily pray for. You do not receive in life necessarily what you believe. And you do not receive in life what you say you have faith in. You always receive what you actually expect. Now, let me give that a caveat. I'm not saying that we're talking about what you demand to receive. When I say you expect it, I'm not saying that you demand it, but it's what you know is happening. You trust the good is coming. And a lot of times as we grow older, it's a little easier to have faith and to trust because we have life experiences of good coming in ways that we didn't expect, and in ways even better than what we expected. We prayed for this, and it came not immediately, but later in surprising ways that are even better. So most of us here have wisdom. We're seasoned with life experiences that make it a little bit easier to know that the good is coming, even out of challenging situations. Maybe not so much in the middle of the challenge, because sometimes we're so deep in it, and that we can't see our way out, maybe. And we're too, what does they say, too deep in the forest to see the trees. So sometimes it's a little harder when we're in the middle of something, but most of us have had good stuff come that we wouldn't have had if this experience had not happened. Later, we can look back and go, oh, if that challenge hadn't happened, I wouldn't have this now. And this is so much more than what I ever expected or hoped for. So today, I just want to invite you to explore with me a powerful shift from our stinking thinking, because our human thinking can really cause, well, it can hold us back from getting our wildest hopes and dreams. So I'd like to have you help me explore the shift from stinking thinking to shared and sacred expectancy, to discover how your wildest hopes and dreams are closer than you think, and how you feel about that and believe about that more of the time than not. We all have our days where we're more optimistic and believe than others, but more of the time than not. So we're talking about a pattern of thinking and believing. So there's something called positive psychology by a psychologist named Martin Seligman, where, you've heard the glass is either half empty or half full. I'm sure you've all heard that. And per Charles Fillmore, one of our co-founders, the optimists tend to be more pleasant, have more sunshine in their hearts, whereas pessimists tend to have a darker outlook, more shadow soul consciousness. And each of those within each of us is according to our soul consciousness, our particular and enduring outlook on life. So it's not just in any given moment what you think or your outlook in any given moment, a thought that you might have, but it's in your enduring outlook on life where you tend to be more than not. So it's like a pattern of thinking for you. And we all have both optimistic thoughts and negative thoughts, and positive thoughts and negative thoughts. But some of us tend to lean more toward optimistic thoughts more of the time, and some tend to lean more toward pessimistic thoughts more of the time. So if you think that life sucks, guess what? If you put that out there, that's what you're going to get back. So a few years ago, my husband and I were doing some banking business at Schwab Bank. And we were talking to this teller on the phone about our business. And when we first got on the phone with him, we said, "How are you doing?" And he said, "Oh man, life is great. This is the greatest day I've ever had." And then we went, "Oh, okay, great." We went and did our banking business on the phone. And at the end, the guy asked if we had any other questions. And my husband said, "Yeah, how do you do that? This is an awesome day." And because every day I don't wake up feeling that way. And that guy said, "Oh, a few years ago, I was so negative. I hated everything. I hated every day. I hated waking up in the morning. I hated everybody. And I was miserable. And one day I woke up and thought, I'm tired of feeling this way." And he said, so he decided to fake it till you make it. I'm sure you've heard that. So he decided to lie to himself. So he started saying, "This is a great day," even though he didn't necessarily feel that way. And every day for 2 years, it took him to do that. And then one morning he woke up and thought, "You know what? This really is a great day." So he learned to be optimistic. So that just is a real lesson for some of us, that we can learn to be optimistic. So, and you know what? It's so easy for us to argue with others and with ourselves about the problems in our life, about what's wrong in our life. Oh, me. Get caught up in the words and the semantics and make up stories in our heads that are not true. And I've decided, I catch myself making up stories all the time these days. I didn't realize that for many years, but I've decided if I'm going to make up a story about a situation that happened, that I'm going to make it a fantastic story instead of the worst case scenario. And that really helps to pull me out. And oftentimes it ends up being the more positive thing. So when we fret, any of you ever fret or worry? Tell the truth. But when we fret and worry about difficulties, it would behoove us to change, to expect solutions. Maybe not in the particular moment we're in the middle of the challenge, to expect ourselves to do it right then, or to expect others to. Maybe not always. So sometimes we throw out these flowery cliches to someone who's in the middle of a challenging situation. Like, for example, when a child dies, that is not the time to tell someone some of these. What are some of the cliches that we throw out? There's God is
It always happens for a reason.
that's a horrible one. Everything happens for a reason. To tell someone that when they're in the middle of such a dark challenge is not the time. Maybe at some later time, they may come to some realizations like that. What are some others?
They're in a better place.
A better place? Oh my God, yes.
Suffering is over.
Suffering is over.
Better days ahead.
Days ahead.
New angel in heaven.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about expecting someone in the middle of a challenge to be here, but maybe it'll come later. So we don't do that to ourselves either, and we don't do it to each other. But sometimes, instead of not Dorothy Pearson, Myrtle Fillmore often says, when we tell ourselves, I just don't know what to do, she says, stop doing that. Instead, tell yourself over and over, I do know what to do. I do know what to do. Maybe right now in this moment, it's eluding me and I can't get there, but I do know what to do. I do know what to do, because truth is, you do. At some level, deep inside yourself, those answers are always there. But sometimes we're just so stuck in the middle of it that we can't get there and we can't find how to pull our way out of the hole. So tell ourselves, according to Myrtle, instead of saying, I don't know what to do, say, I do know what to do. Maybe right now it's not coming to me, but maybe sometimes when those times happen, I need to stop and take a breather and just wait and be patient and know that the answers will come. If not right now, they will. So maybe I've beaten my head up against the wall right now, but maybe I need to just stop and wait and be patient and know that those answers are coming. So I want to ask you another question. Do you believe always there is an answer to every problem? To everything that you might fret or worry about? And I know what you're saying right now to yourself. You're going, well, yeah, of course I do. And yeah, we know that's what you're supposed to say. But truthfully, always in the middle of a challenge, do you believe that every moment of every day, even when things aren't going like you want them to? So being honest with ourselves about that. So I wonder, what do you think life would be like if you did not believe that? Wow. I don't even want to think about that. If I did not believe that there were answers to every problem, I might just sit back and just not even try. I might just sit back and wither up and die a psychic death, if not a real death. Well, of course, we in Unity know there's not real death, but our bodies might die. So it would be gruesome, I would expect, if I didn't believe there was an answer to every problem. So we can go to the problem, and we can know, and we can trust, and we can believe that there is always an answer. When a child dies, like I said before, those answers may not be right there, or when something devastating like that happens, but the answers are there. as close as our next breath, as close as our hand, as close as our next thought, inside our heart and soul, inside our very being, inside that divine essence of you, inside that divine aspect of you. So it would behoove us to try to keep our vision high, our expectations about what's to happen in our life today, tomorrow. The song Tomorrow, the sun will come up tomorrow. The next year, always. To battle those negative thoughts and those negative emotions. That's our human part. That's okay. That's just the way it is. But we get caught up trying to figure out things in our head, in our intellect. And that doesn't always help, but we do that, right? And that's just the way it is. So we be gentle with ourselves when we catch ourselves doing that. And have you noticed that some people tend to refuse to let challenges get them down or to keep them down? Maybe they might get them down temporarily, but they refuse to let them keep them down. They seem to meet them with more determination. And even though we might have a negative thought or emotion, yeah, we're gentle with ourselves. Oh, notice that, become aware of it, just observe it and go, yeah, that's okay. I'm going to give myself that right now, but I don't want to let it rest in my hair. I don't want it to make a nest in my hair. Have you guys heard that one? I don't want it to hang around. I don't want to dwell on it and focus on it forever. I just don't want it to stay long. So one day my daughter, I was moaning about something and she was a teenager then. She's 54 now, but she was a teenager and I was moaning and groaning about something. And she said, Mom, get off the pity pot. And I'm going, oh my goodness, who's the psychologist around here? And she was right. I got mad at first at her, but then I began to realize she was right. It's okay for it to go there sometimes. We all do. But I want to be aware of it and not stay there forever. So I want to say that if you are to accomplish great things, and I believe that you are, and great things might include something simple like being kind or holding out your hand to assist or whatever. Those are great things. And if you are to accomplish those great things, having love and compassion in your heart, do you believe that great things are possible for you? I know what you're saying to yourself. And I'm going to say, really? Okay. And I also want to say that we need to free our minds of the shackles that are limiting ourselves to our human thinking, because that human thinking can hold us back from getting our hopes and dreams. So we need to expect greater things for ourselves. We need to cease complaining. Oh boy. About our present lot in life, that others are holding you back. You can change your life with the help of your higher power, but asking ourselves, have I done my share? Unity's fifth principle says, it's not enough to woo-woo and meditate all day long. I mean, that's important. And pray, that's important, but that's not enough. Then we have to live it. We have to act it. We have to be it. We have to do it. So with your co-creator, you are a co-creator in the creation of your life. So have you done your share in getting what you want with the way you're thinking and acting, not just in this moment, but in general? So stop right now. Ask yourself, does my situation in the midst of this challenge seem hopeless? And sometimes it does. There are times when it does. It is not hopeless. Trust that there's always an answer. Wow. To know that you will improve your life. So there's a story about two twin brothers, and one was pessimistic and one was optimistic. And the dad didn't know what in the world to do with this. What is causing this difference in these twins? And so he took them to a psychiatrist. And so the psychiatrist took the one with the pessimistic attitude into a room full of bright, shiny new toys. And the little boy just dropped to his knees and started sobbing. And the psychiatrist said, "What? Aren't you going to enjoy playing with all these bright, new, shiny toys?" And the kid said, "Oh, I'll just break them." So the psychiatrist said, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this so for right now, let's go back out to the waiting room with your dad, and I'm going to bring in your brother." He brought in the optimistic little boy. And in this room was a pile full of horse manure. So the little boy dropped to his knees and he started digging in the manure with enthusiasm and delight with his hands. And the psychiatrist said, "What on earth are you doing?" And the little boy said, "With all this manure, there's bound to be a pony in there somewhere." So, I mean, this just speaks to a difference in our personalities, don't you think? So next question might be, is this inherited? No, these two twin boys were different. And like Viktor Frankl in the Nazi concentration camps, you know about his book, Man's Search for Meaning, came out in the 60s. He noticed certain prisoners hung on to a will to live and survive despite the awful stuff they were going through that most of us couldn't imagine. And their will to survive seemed to come from finding and hanging on to some purpose to what they were experiencing, even if it might mean something like sitting under a tree and contemplating reuniting with their families when they got out. And then he noticed other people just shriveled in the midst of that awful abuse and just sort of died a psychic death, and some died literally, their bodies died. And Frankl himself, he said at some point, he decided, "All right, you guys, you can take everything away from me, but there's one thing you can never take from me." And what is that? My attitude about what's happening here, what I think about what's going on here. And he made a vow that when he got out, he was going to go lecture to universities worldwide to educate the world about what happened there. And he would write notes on toilet paper or what he could find, and they would take them away from him. But he said, "That's okay. You can't take away my attitude." So based on that, the differences in the personalities, research has said that we can develop and learn to be more optimistic. We can learn and we can do marvelous things with our lives. So do you give your mind credit for how incredibly powerful it is? Incredibly powerful. But Dorothy Fillmore says that we have to train our minds. We have to train ourselves. And in Unity, we do this mostly through denials and affirmations. So we train ourselves for a deeper, it's deeper and more positive than just positive thinking, much deeper than that. It's not like what you read in The Secret. They're missing some components to all of this. It's much deeper than that. We don't deny that the situation is happening. No spiritual bypassing, no airy-fairy stuff, no rose-colored glasses. We don't deny the reality. Yes, this situation's happening. And yes, I don't like it. And yes, I feel sad. I feel angry, whatever. And you're not responsible for certain situations that happen in your life. But here's what you are responsible for. Can you guess? how you are in that situation, how you react to it, how you respond to it. So what we do is we deny the power that we've given to that thought. And you're no longer in charge of me, that thought. I gave you power at one time, but I'm taking back that power that I once gave you. That thought is no longer controlling me or my life. And then we let it go. You have no power over me. And then we make room for something more realistic, more positive, and we replace that thought with a more positive one, a more realistic one. So we need to fill ourselves with positive expectations. We need to expect only good, knowing that sometimes things happen that we don't like. But expect only good for ourselves and our lives. We expect that when the sun's going to come out in the morning, even though some mornings we can't see it because of the clouds, but we know it's going to come out, even if it's behind the clouds. We expect it to because we've seen it over and over. So we expect good things in our lives for ourselves. And Eric Butterworth, in a book called Spiritual Economics, said, we do not necessarily receive what we want, or what we think we want, or what we pray for, or what we say we have faith in. We always receive what we actually expect. No demand about that. We don't demand the sun to rise. We just know it will. We expect that it will. And the same with the goodness in our life. We don't demand it, but we just know that it will. We trust, we have faith, which is easier for us as we grow older because we've learned that good things do come, even out of challenging situations. But it's up to us to make that happen. So just know that good is coming. Just trust that good is coming. And look forward to that good that is coming. Genuinely expect only good today, tomorrow, next year, for you, for your life. Do you believe the universe is for you or against you? Oh, we could get some conversation going around that, couldn't we? Are those thoughts and beliefs growing in your consciousness? Ooh. So every thought, every belief that you have and have had contributes to and adds to the sum of the sum total of your consciousness. Ooh, that's been going on for years. Your consciousness is built upon thoughts and feelings and ideas that you have stored in it by daily thoughts and reactions for years. You built it up. And so if you are not getting for yourself ultimately what you truly want, you can change it. Train yourself till it becomes more easy, more automatic, more natural to look for the good in everything that happens. I have a friend who, even when he's going through challenging situations, he says, this too is good for me. Well, I'm not always able to get there right away, but at some point, I'm trying to train myself to get to that point. You know how with kids, we catch them doing something wrong so we can punish them? And we do that to ourselves. Well, I say, let's change that stinking thinking around. Let's catch them doing something right. Let's catch ourselves doing something right. Because when we pick at fault in ourselves and in others who might annoy us, you know what we do? We bring a shadow across our own consciousness. Ooh. So if something is not how you want it to be, you can fix it. And we give it our attention while we're fixing it, while we're doing what we need to do. And then once we've done our share, We take our attention away and leave it to the higher power, but not before we've done our share of co-creating. But to indulge in bad habits that we're looking for and flaws in ourselves and others and dwelling on that and focusing on them, we hurt ourselves more than we do anyone else. Thinking about mistakes and troubles and slights and disappointments and grudges opens the gate to your consciousness. Oh, it's easy to say, oh, so-and-so snubbed me today. I'm miserable. It's easy to criticize someone's behaviors, but those thoughts aren't helpful. Maybe we can count our blessings instead of our troubles. That one's easy to say also. You know what? Your problems cannot destroy your good, but your negative thinking about your problems will. Trust spirit, trust divine source, knowing the highest good is being served in you, for you. Trust, even when you can't see it. Expect only good, and your good comes to you. We might not have a clear sense of it, but consider all the ways that you have been cared for. Yes. Consider all the precarious situations that ultimately worked to your benefit. Things that you might have worried about resolve themselves in unexpected ways. We have an opportunity to allow surprisingly positive results to come our way. Know that the mighty work is going on inside you, always, in this moment and every moment. Always receive what you genuinely, authentically, truthfully expect. And you may say these fancy words, but do you really believe it? Trust. Move forward with positive expectations. And let's take that into meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes. If you feel comfortable, quiet the mental realm. Just relax and breathe. And let go. Open to receive. Arrive at a threshold of being in the quiet mental realm. And as you pass into your inner chamber, find yourself entering the Holy of Holies, where noiselessly and silently the mighty work is always going on. Allow time and space to nurture a fragile, new, deeper understanding of who you truly are. As tenderly as you would care for a new baby. Affirming silently, tenderly now to yourself. Heart, I give thanks for the greatest gift, the Christ presence and the gifts of hope and faith being born in me. I am never far away from the presence and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. May I string together my moments of sweet, tender, gentle peace. Settling in now. Breathe. Relax. Let go. And open to receive. I am a living expression of the divine. Peace seeks expression in my life. In the stillness of meditation, I embrace divine peace, allowing it to fill me. It blesses me and everyone I meet. With each breath, I dwell on peace. My breathing is calm and steady. I experience a renewed awareness of compassion for myself and for others, understanding, oneness. I affirm goodwill to all. I recognize God's presence in me and see it in everyone I meet. My journey has brought me once again to the Christ presence within me. And for this, we are so grateful. And we say, and so it is. Amen.